Jonathan Halevi, you are ahead of one of the most important hospitals, I won't say it in Israel, in the world, with many cases of fertility and many stories about that. I have a first question. Do you believe that religion should have any influence of the use of assisted reproductive to decide what to do, when not to do it? Does religion have to be, or it has only to be science?
Well, I do believe that every society in the world, regardless of their religion or if they are atheists, should adopt the advances in science in a socially responsible manner. I believe that the Jewish religion, and I remind you that Israel is a secular state.
All right, yes.
It's not a religious state. It has a certain percentage of religious population, but it's not governed by the religious law. So I believe that every society should adopt innovations in science in a socially responsible manner. It happens that the religious Jewish approach to assisted reproductive technology, meaning IVF, inVitro fertilization, pre-implantation genetic testing, is very liberal and very advanced. And it is very liberal and very advanced because of the first commitment in the Bible is be fruitful and multiply.
Yes.
And because Israel was founded on the ashes of the victims of the Shoah, of the Holocaust. So everybody
yes.
in Israel, atheists, religious people, traditional people, recognize the fact that enlarging the population and bringing babies to the world is an Israeli ethos. It's very important. And the religion not only stands in the way, it even preaches to that. And most of the Jewish law rulers adopt all these advances in the science of assisted reproductive technology.
You talk about the Holocaust, you talk about religions. How does in Shaare Zedek deal with the ethics of genetic manipulation in these cases, before fertilization, testing and everything? It's a manipulation and you can decide which embryo, which not to use, or many other things. How do they deal with these ethics?
So, first of all, Shaare Zedek is one of the 7 tertiary care centers, largest hospitals in Israel, and we adopt every innovation in medicine. And actually, although the founders of this hospital were religious Jews, and they decided that the hospital will run forever, not against the Jewish law, as I said in the answer to your previous question, it is surprising how the Jewish ethics is very open in adopting new technologies, including in genetic editing.
And what are the rules that are taken in Israel and in Shaare Zedek not to use the genetics or the fertilizing process to produce, I don't know, super babies or babies like, it's an ethical issue that you can decide which color of eyes they can have.
Exactly like cloning is forbidden all over the world, regardless of religion. It has nothing to do with religion.
Yes.
Also, one should be very responsible, and we do it at Shaare Zedek in other hospitals in Israel, that the natural desire of parents to have the perfect baby should not lead to genetic manipulations. And we know where to put the border. If there is, for instance, a sex-linked disease, we will do gender selection.
Right.
If there is a genetic disease...
Only if there is, you can only do gender selection only in these cases, because many they want, I want a boy, I want a girl, so it can come to
very rare cases, very, very rare cases, maybe 2 or 3 a year, when there is an impact on the parents, on their psychological situation, because they have many offsprings of the same gender. A special committee in Israel allows gender selection.
Right.
But gender selection is at the top of the slippery slope, and we are all in Israel, including in Shaare Zedek, are very careful not to cross this line.
Shaare Zedek is a pioneer in all these genetic studies about kids and everything. What do you think is the most important advances you have got it in these 20 years? Because I'm sure, I know that you have been doing it these 20 years. that have accomplished Shaare Zedek in these technologies about fertilizing, genetics, getting to know some
So first of all,
hereditary.
Shaare Zedek has a very strong genetics department headed by Professor Efrat Levi-Lahad, who is world renowned.
Yes, she did a study in Mexico, very important study in Mexico.
She concentrates on diseases that are prevalent among the Jewish population. Now, one of the leading is being a carrier of the BRCA genes,
All right.
the BRCA1 and BRCA2, that exposes you to a much higher prevalence of breast cancer. And actually,
That is very important in the Ashkenazi community.
in the Ashkenazi community. From her laboratory in Shaare Zedek came the national rule in Israel
All right.
that every Ashkenazi woman is entitled free of charge to
Right.
genetic testing for BRCA.
All right.
And if she has it,
In Israel. Every Ashkenazi woman that lives in Israel or can go somewhere, because they did a study in Mexico.
To be entitled to a free of charge genetic testing, you have
Right.
to be a resident of Israel. We do not finance
All right.
genetic testing for other countries.
All right.
I'm sure that Mexico also will
All
not
right,
let
yes.
me have genetic
That's
testing.
another good reason to go to Israel to live. All right. But you were
Well,
talking.
if you are a citizen of Israel, it's a different story. So this is one example. And in general, we have thousands of healthy babies that were born to parents who are carriers of bad genes or who are parents to a boy or a girl who suffer from a genetic disease through the PGT technology. And I take great pride of the fact our PGD laboratory is the largest in Europe. And many other hospitals in Israel uses us for this. So yes, we are very advanced.
An ethical question. What happens and how does Shaare Zedek deals when you do a test, somebody's going to get married, you do the test to see if they have any genetics complication or could be for their kids. What happens when you do the test? How do you go to the couple to say you have this problem or you don't have, or
First of all,
it's
all
because
over
it
the
varies
world-
all around?
All over the world, in every genetics department, one of the most important tasks is of the genetic counselor. And the genetic counselor will sit with the couple, tell them exactly what is the risk that they will have a sick baby, and thank God and thank science, today we can solve it and prevent the birth of a sick baby through PGD. So everything is open. I mean, we don't, we divulge to the couple everything that has to do with their body and genetics.
Only if they have any
The
problem.
modern era of medicine, patients' autonomy is sacred, and they are entitled to know everything that science knows for sure. When you have doubts, you don't have to share it. But when you are sure, when you do genetic testing, and you know that this couple has 25% chance to have a sick baby with severe genetic disease, you tell them that, you tell them the risk, and you advise them not to get pregnant through the natural process, but through IVF, to do PGD, and to select a healthy baby.
That's very important because you could be bringing a new life with a best life. And for finishing, we have many questions, but we have small time. Tell me, what is the importance? You are now in Mexico. You are going to give here an important conference and a debate about fertilization, halakha, religion. Where do they mix? Do they mix? Or what is the importance here? You're in Mexico, and what are you going to debate about?
Well, as I did in my lecture this morning, every aspect of the assisted reproductive technology, regular IVF, ovum donation, surrogacy, the non-heterosexual couple, gay couples, if they are entitled for ovum donation and surrogacy and to have their own children. I mentioned gender selection. Every aspect of this assisted reproductive technology has ethical dilemmas involved, and that's what is going to be discussed.
And what is before? The ethical things, the religion, or medicine in these cases?
So
what is the most
I
important?
already answered
Yes,
this
I
to
know.
the previous
Just to
question,
close.
that at least the Jewish religion is very open to adopt every scientific innovation that does not offend or put at risk the life of the patients.
Thank you very much. I know you have to go, but we will be with you all these days, and we will be more in touch with you because I know there will be many questions about fertilization, how to do it, how not to do it, what is correct, what is not correct, and how to do it better. And you, in Shaare Zedek, you are the expert.
Thank you very much. Thank you.